Fresh.
We've only just begun.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have with us a returning guest. He is a writer, blogger, journalist, and digital marketing whiz, a seasoned entrepreneur and a businessman with 40 and counting years of experience, a spiritual guide, and active traditional healer. Tonight's topic is centered around job opportunities and creation of wealth for people in the community. And it only makes sense that we have a man who has started out multiple initiatives, including this very one, to tackle that very issue and engages in a productive discussion. Tonight we have with us Mr. Anthony Kaine.
Thank you. Good evening.
And brought to you by Fmdp-edu Education, I'm your host Michael, and it is my pleasure to welcome him and the audience to the Working for Humanity Africa talk show.
You're welcome. Hello to the audience. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Africa. I'm glad to be here this evening to look at the issues surrounding job creation in Africa. If we look at the issue of job creation as it has been in the continent of Africa, most of the jobs that we pride ourselves to be employed into, 65%, at least 65% of them are not locally owned. They are foreign owned industries. And this has in many ways become an impediment to the development of the continent of Africa, of the countries that are here, that are duly called African countries. A lot of this has actually been bothering African leaders, so much that at the wake of the creation of Pan-African Parliament, part of their aims and objectives happen to be to guide and ensure that countries of the continent's industries, people and businesses grow to accommodate the ever-growing number of job market. But up till now, no single country in Africa can stand and beat the chest to say we have tackled the issue of job creation. As you can see today, every job that you look at, or every development, or every creation that you look at today, are establishments that are meant to tackle a kind of, or to address a kind of need for the people of the continent, for the industries. You find that though we Africans here in the continent owns most of the mineral resources that is used to run everything that is created across the world, yet all we do is we occupy the position of hard labor. We do the job, the hard labor, the work of the hard labor. We enter the mines. If we talk about the mining industry, we enter the ground and mine this gold. If you look at the oil sector, it is also we the black that drive into the sea, deep down in the sea, to fix the pipe that pulls its oil. If you also look at everything that we do across the continent, you find out that most of our industries are foreign owned, like I said before, and we are just like acting as the hard labor providers. Our blood has been tapped into. And this wealth that we have, the initiative, the technology, the primary roots of technological development in Africa are all the intellectual products of the black people. And until this is changed, we in Africa will continue to serve as the as the blood giver. That is why some years back there was this issue of blood money. And blood money does not really mean that someone has to tap into your blood, suck it out, and then sell it. No, it is the hard labor that we as African people put into the creation of resources that provide the liquid cash for the international, we call them international investors. It's about time that we begin to look inwardly to see how we can begin to be the entrepreneurs, the top profit earners in Africa. Until that time, we'll continue to serve and carry about begging bowls, arms, seeking for cash relief, seeking for everything that we need to develop the continent of Africa, to develop our people, to fight poverty, even to stabilize the leadership in the continent. Our political terrain is all rubbish. Why? Not because we do not have resources to stabilize our own country, our economy, our people, but because most of the interests that run the businesses and industries of Africa do not primarily rest in the hands of the people that are supposed to be the shirt collars in the continent. I was like looking into how this can be changed, how we can make Africa more viable economically, technologically, and develop our industries to such extent that it will compete favorably at par with the international investors, with countries like America, with China, with Britain, and all that. But you see, the bureaucratic interest that is ethically based, that serve the interests of those who actually want to hold Africa's servitude and run every affairs of the continent's development, will never allow us to grow. So until comes such a time where we begin to look closer inward and tap into what we have, using our own people, by ourselves, and investing enough to grow our own local industries, we will continue to depend on foreign donors, foreign investors to help develop our industry. And going beyond that, there are so many things, so many seasons, so many occasions, so many celebrations that add in value and in logistics to help and enhance the perpetuation of Western domination of African industries and governance, that dictates what we do, where we should do it, and how we should do it. And at the end of it all, what happens is that here in Africa, we are deprived of the gains of what we put into producing whatever the Western industries need to produce whatever. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that we should come together as people of the continent and look inwardly into how we can make everything around us economically viable for us. Of course, we can. And everything that we do, our tradition, our culture, the way we live, what we eat, and our own environment, everything about us is economically viable for us. But until we are able to sit down, look at it, and find out ways we can utilize what we have and make it economically viable for us, we will continue to depend on foreign donors, foreign investors to come into the country and help develop our country. A request, a desire that may never be met or will never be approached by these people that we want to depend on lightly, like no one wants you to come in and take over their source of livelihood, their source of economic vibrancy, their source of dominance, their source of power, because power dictates everything that you do, and power comes with liquid cash economy. And where there is the economy is not in your own hand, the power is useless. Is that not the reason why banks today dictate everything that happens across the world? Is that not the reason why America will use the bank, which is also the economic values of the world, of Russia, to fight Russia? Is that not why, the reason why America is pumping so much money into this other country that Russia is fighting? Just to make sure that Russia go down. And the same economic war is what has been waged against Africa up till this very moment, that Africa, no country in Africa is stable. It is either that we are having political war, or that we are having a racial conflict, or that we are having a terrorist attacking us. These terrorists that are attacking Africa, the question is, where do they come from? Who are funding them? What are the interests? What are their interests? How are or where are people? How were they able to be convinced to look away from developing Africa to helping to fight the war that will destroy Africa, destroy the people, destroy its tradition, destroy its belief, its culture? These are the fundamentals that we need to look at in Africa if we have to go forward. And the only body that can help advance this course is Future Minds Development Program, Fmdp. And we very soon will be coming up with a project that we call Working for Humanity Africa. In the project Working for Humanity Africa, we will begin a kind of drive into looking into Africa as it is, holistically, and then dissect the problem that we are facing, and then we'll begin to look into how we can find solutions, lasting solutions to these, independent of Western dictates, independent of Western funding, independent of any other funding, but we are going to fund whatever we do by ourselves, using our people, using our resources. This is what we have, no matter how meager they are. This is exactly why wfha has come to become part of the initiative that FMDP will be running. And there are other initiatives that we have in our hand, like AFSON, it's called African Fashion Portal. We also have Pan-African Parliament, that we're partnering with Pan-African Parliament to give it the truth that is lacking today to perform its objectives for the people of the continent. We have AU, but AU has been captured. So too has Pan-African Parliament been reduced, because Pan-African Parliament is a sub-body of AU. And until Pan-African Parliament can function maximally, and carry out its defined aims and objectives for the people of the continent and the countries of the continent, we will be going nowhere slowly. Fellow Africans, we call on you to join in this cause, to be part of it, to respond to us whenever we call on you. Whenever you see us out there doing what the little that we can contribute to the advancement of the continent, we plead with you to join us, to give us the little helping hand that we'll be asking of you, so that we can take the continent out of its present woes and place it in the direction of progress, unhindered progress, uninterrupted progress. This may sound to you like a broken record today, but when we kick off with our first event, I think we will come to begin to understand where we are coming from, where we are at, and where we are headed. That is just the basis of this.